the Giggles over here with Nick Spencer. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having
Nick
me.
Spencer, Dr. Giggles, as we call him around the house. How you doing, man?
That's
how are you
a
enjoying
terrifying nickname.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. How are you enjoying the show?
It's been great. It's been great. We came in earlier because we had our Marvel retreat this week.
I saw you there.
So it's
We
been
sat
a
next to each
whirlwind
other.
marathon.
Do you remember that was
we
me?
sat next. You took a lot of the incoming fire.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's been a crazy week for
The
sure.
retreat was crazy for you. We're not going to give away anything, but it was, let's just say it was an impactful retreat for Nick Spencer.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
A lot of stuff
secrets.
It was. I had to talk a lot.
You had to talk a lot.
I had to talk a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Seemed very comfortable with the spotlight, though. And that's because all the great work you've been doing up in our two Captain America books, Astonishing Ant-Man. I want to talk about Sam Wilson. I think, honestly, one of our most fascinating characters right now, and for years was a supporting character, but really, you ran with him and you said, all right, look, this is a guy who, speaking out on social issues has always been the backbone of the character. Just because he's Captain America, I'm not going to change that. Was that a hard decision to make, or was that just natural?
It wasn't hard because I'm just kind of careless. And don't put enough thought into these things. But no, it's true. It's Sam was a social worker and a community organizer in Harlem. That was his career before he was Falcon. He's always been a character that's very politically passionate and has strong opinions and strong views. And so it definitely felt like a natural place to take the character. That what if somebody who was Captain America said, I'm going to take a stand on some things. And the way that we try to do it, it's not really important what those issues were or what he was saying when he made his opinions known. It's just a story of what happens if a Captain America does that.
Yeah. And it's been a great story so far.
Thank you.
And speaking of Captain America doing things, Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I
Steve.
led with the softball.
Yeah.
Steve.
No, I'm ready for some hardball.
He's doing good. No problems.
Yep.
All fine here.
Some slight troublemaking. How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, I assume everybody knows, but if you don't, spoilers, Steve Rogers is currently an agent of Hydra. He's had his reality rewritten by Cosmic Cube at the behest of the Red Skull.
An adorable cosmic cube.
A
at
very
that.
adorable, very sweet Kovac. She's very precocious, but she also can rewrite reality as she sees fit. And she happens to think the Red Skull is just dreamy. So that's a problem. And so Steve is in a very different place than we've ever seen him before. It's an entirely different Steve. And, he's... we're in our Civil War II arc right now, and we found out in the last issue that Steve had a much bigger role in that series than we may have seen on the original page. Had some involvement in what happened to the Hulk. Had some involvement in some other key parts of the story. So people were back to screaming at me and gasping and crying, and that's how we like them. So that's good.
Obviously, Steve and Sam right now are very different characters, very different Captains America. But just looking at them from the surface level, Steve, classic Steve versus Sam, how do you approach writing the two books and the two characters differently?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, right now because of the story
Yeah.
we're in, it's pretty easy. Historically, Steve has always wanted to seem very above the fray. He's been very aware of his place as a symbol and wanting to speak to the entirety of America. And again, that just goes back to Sam just having a different approach and saying, I want to do good as Captain America, and I think the way to do some good is using this influence and using this microphone to try to change things that I think need to be changed. I think that Steve usually takes a little bit of a bigger picture vision and is a little bit more of a non-interventionist on that kind of thing. But given Steve's current status quo, he might feel a little differently about that soon. So who knows?
You mentioned a little bit Kovac and the Red Skull's relationship, which is kind of like deliciously wrong. Where did that sort of idea come from? And do you feel bad corrupting a poor child?
Yeah, look, I created Kovac and we set her up back during standoff and I've been so thrilled with the response to the character generally. Like people seem to really like her. And she's in Thunderbolts right now, which Jim Zub is writing. I felt bad in the sense that I knew from the start that was a pretty terrible beat that she was going to have to go through. But the idea is Kovac is the sentient version of the cosmic cube that the Red Skull held back in a classic Mark Waid, Ron Garney story. So she views the skull very much as kind of a father figure. The idea is that there was a lasting impression that was made there. So, but we already are starting to see in the story that the Red Skull's idea of Hydra and Kovac's idea of Hydra might be somewhat different, and we're starting to see that Hydra Steve is not down with what the Red Skull is doing to Hydra, so that's gonna come to a major head soon.
I want to talk about your third book for a second, Astonishing Ant-Man, which is one of my favorites. And the cool thing is always, well, you've got your kind of mainstream superhero books running. One time you had Superior Foes of Spider-Man, great book. Now you have Astonishing Ant-Man. There's always kind of this dark comedy book running at the same time. Does that flex different muscles for you as a writer? Does it give you a chance to do some different stuff?
It really does. I love writing comedy, and it's been great getting to do it with Superior Foes and Ant-Man, because getting to do comedy within the Marvel Universe is just even better, because you just get to poke fun at things that you've cared about and loved for a long time, and that's great. We're coming to the end here with 13. I think we got a nice wrap up to our story. It really comes back to the stuff that we've been talking about, Scott, from the start. That he's a superhero single dad. That his relationship with Cassie is very much central to who he is as a hero. So I feel like we're ending on an up note, and that's pretty cool.
Speaking of those two titles, there are always kind of these like interesting little characters that you don't always see a ton of or get to hear their side of the story. Do you have a soft spot in your heart for those other players?
I do. I mean, especially with Superior Foes, and again with Ant-Man, I love the working class villains, especially. They're characters that tend to show up at the beginning of books. The superheroes fighting them while they're thinking about more important things or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always curious about what motivates them, what gets them out of bed in the morning, how losing this much must impact their state of mind, and things like that. So that's always fun to kind of get into and explore.
We got about 2 minutes left. Why don't we
spin the
that
wheel?
All right.
We're hyping this up.
Let's give it a shot.
Spin the wheel.
We're going to
to your
spin
own
the
doom.
infinity wheel.
You have to do it.
Physically do it.
Right. How does this work? Right here?
Yeah, it's a wheel. You spin it.
Right. All right, there we go.
What do we got, Lorraine?
It says Spider Who.
Spider Who?
We're going to tell you the name of a spider person, and you're going to say if that person is a person or not.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Nick Spencer.
Who am I to decide?
Nick Spencer, tell me, is Spider Monkey a real Spider-Man character?
Spider Monkey is a real Spider-Man.
I think we got to
It's
give
one
a harder
for one.
one.
All right, what else do we got here? Phantom Spider?
That doesn't sound right.
That's not right.
Ooh.
Spider Wolf.
I think this one's open to interpretation, maybe, but no. I'm
You
gonna
say
say no.
false, and you'd be wrong, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where was this? Do we
It's-
have like a date of appearance or anything?
No, we have a line that says true. So that we come to the end of our game.
And that's how being
And
canon works.
So congratulations,
2 out of
you
3.
had a good run. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I'm no Dan Slott.
No, you're certainly not, and be thankful for that. Nick, where can people find you online, on social media, if they want to converse with you? Probably yell at you, to be honest
I'm
with
at
you.
twitter.com/Nick Spencer, and people come and yell at me every day.
You're not hiding, are you?
I love that internet.
And
Very
when does issue 13 come out?
Issue 13 of Ant-Man comes out next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2
There
weeks
you
from
go.
now, I think. I think 2 Wednesdays from now.
Well, go check out all 3 of Nick Spencer's books.
Cap Steve Rogers, Cap Sam Wilson, Astonishing Ant-Man. He's doing great work on all of them. We're going to be coming back with Joe Quesada in just a second. We thank Nick Spencer for joining us, and we thank you for watching us here at Marvel Live, New York Comic Con 2016, brought to you by Kabam, Marvel Contest of Champions.
And if you guys want to interact with us online, just hashtag Marvel NYCC or head over to marvel.com/NYCC 2016 for more photos and live vlogs and all kinds of cool stuff happening over there. So stick around with us.